Over the last decade, despite consistent growth in demand for high-performance smartphones, lithium-ion battery technology has remained largely unchanged. To address this limitation, some manufacturers have tried to compensate for the low energy density by employing bigger batteries, more efficient components, and developing faster charging technologies. However, one company has taken a different approach. They had a brilliant idea that promised to extend the battery life simply by changing the way users use their phones. In 2016, a California-based company, Popslate, launched a campaign on Indiegogo for a product called Popslate 2. It was an iPhone case with an e-ink display on the back that could display anything the user wanted. The case was designed to address the issue of the limited battery life of iPhones. It can display weather information, time, news feeds, and even function as an e-reader. Anything that would normally be displayed on a traditional screen, the Popslate 2 can do that too. In many ways, users could rely on the phone case more than the main screen itself. The e-ink technology that is used is very power efficient and can last for days, albeit it can only show black and white content. By not using the phone screen very often, users can expect longer battery life and less time needed for charging. Popslate 2 also has its own small internal battery, which could act as an external power bank that extends the iPhone's battery by up to 9 hours of talk time. The case itself is directly connected to the iPhone through the Lightning port, and both devices would recharge at the same time when plugged in. It's an interesting concept, right? And surely there's a decent market for it, and Popslate resorted to a crowdfunding approach to make the dream reality. To understand the Popslate 2 campaign, it's important to first look at the original Popslate. This was a successful Indiegogo campaign that raised over $200,000 in 2012. It was a similar concept to the Popslate 2, but much less complex. The product was moderately well received, and the company went on to sell it through various retailers. The problem is that the device is not very exciting. Customers would forget about the case after just a week. Due to limited functionalities, the original Popslate was a mere cosmetic device serving no meaningful purpose, and frankly, iPhone users would rather proudly show the Apple logo on the back of their phones. However, Popslate 2 was a much more ambitious project. It was designed to be more functional than the original Popslate, with touch controls, a battery pack, and additional features. To keep the case slim, they used a combination of glass fiber and plastic. This material is also reportedly sufficient to protect the case's flimsy electronic component and, of course, the iPhone that it is attached to. Mainstream media quickly picked up the story. Many note it as a clever way to add more functions and personality to the iPhone. Some even argue that it's a better alternative than the now defunct Yoda phone, a flagship Android phone that features a built-in e-ink display on the back. In just a few weeks after launching, the campaign was a huge success, racking $1 million from more than 11,000 backers, and the company promised to ship the product by the end of the year. With the prior success of the original Popslate, many have faith in the company to realize the goal and bring Popslate 2 to the market. With such immense praise and support, things are looking really well for the company. In the original plan, Popslate 2 was going to be released for the iPhone 6. But during the development stage, the new iPhone 7 was introduced, and many backers are planning to upgrade, leaving the company with two options: design a new one for the iPhone 7 or stay focused on the iPhone 6. And they chose neither. In an effort to satisfy backers and keep the development time manageable, the company tried a hybrid design that would make the case not only fit for iPhone 6, but also still be compatible with iPhone 7. After all, the changes on iPhone 7 are relatively modest, which would make the redesign process simple and straightforward. On the surface, the two models are almost identical in size and features, and there isn't much to say to distinguish between them. But if you remember, the iPhone 7 causes a lot of drama on the internet for ditching the headphone jack. Now the space that was used by the audio port is occupied by an extra speaker, enabling the device to produce stereo sound. And to support enhanced audio quality, Apple required a free zone on the speaker area, which makes the bottom part of the case incompatible with the device. All in all, the changes on iPhone 7 would require too many modifications, which would balloon the manufacturing cost and significantly delay the project. The company realized it wasn't a worthwhile path to take and scrapped the idea immediately to focus its resources on iPhone 6. But it didn't go well either. For a third-party device that wanted to be directly plugged into the iPhone, it has to be certified under the Made for iPhone program to ensure safety and compliance. After rigorous testing, they found Popslate 2 was not able to deliver adequate power to the iPhone when charging, resulted in an unpredictable charging time. Although they did manage to fix the issue, this problem alone delayed the project by 3 months and wounded their finances badly. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, because the next problem is pretty much a nail in the coffin for the company. In another test, they found that the case was substantially blocking the iPhone signal, rendering some wireless communication services useless. It was a shocking find since they had made sure to leave the keep-out zones for the iPhone's antenna. The engineering team had no idea why this happened, as they had never encountered this problem before. So they announced another delay to find the root cause and iron out the issue. Meanwhile, the backers now have to remain patient again until March 2017, almost a year after the original shipping schedule. At this point, things were certainly not looking good for Popslate. Unexpected setbacks like this hurt their development and stressed their finances to the limit. After a thorough investigation, it was found that the mix of glass fiber and plastic for the case was the culprit of the signal degradation, the very same material that even made Popslate 2 possible. While the option for seeking alternative materials is still on the table, it would need more engineering time and new manufacturing tools. Now, if the issue had been discovered at the beginning of the development, it might be possible to continue the project with a different design. But being so late, Popslate has to pretty much restart its manufacturing cycle, which would be expensive and time-consuming. All these factors combined to create a situation where the company was unable to deliver on its promises. Despite its best efforts, the company was simply unable to bring the Popslate 2 to the market, which ultimately led to its failure. With the finances drying up and no investors showing interest, the company was dissolved in 2017, with no backers ever receiving the Popslate 2. The failure of the Popslate 2 campaign offers some important lessons for anyone considering crowdfunding a project. It's a reminder that even the most promising projects can fail, and that backers need to be prepared for the possibility of not receiving the product they pledged for. Popslate filed for bankruptcy, which meant there was no money left to pay back the backers. Some backers attempted to get their money back through Indiegogo's refund process, but this was not successful. Indiegogo's policy at the time was to not offer refunds for crowdfunding campaigns, as backers were treated as investors rather than customers. So that was the story of Popslate 2. While the company is pretty much dead, the idea of integrating an e-ink display into a smartphone is still being actively developed today. Oaxis, a Singapore-based company, produced the same concept as Popslate, but the company doesn't seem to be producing cases for the newer iPhone models. On the bright side, there are a number of Android phones that implement e-ink or e-paper technology with moderate success. And there is even a rumor that Apple is testing the technology and might release an iPhone with an e-ink display as the second screen. But of course, we have to wait to see how this thing is going to unfold. And that marks the end of the video. So what do you guys think about Popslate 2? Or do you have any experience with an e-ink device? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you so much for watching.